Do you want to learn how to make sleepy beats like this? What is up guys, my name is Sam and I work under the artist name of Kaiyo. If you want to learn how to make sleepy, chill hop and lo-fi beats, this is the video for you. Let's jump into FL Studio and we'll take a look at this project. So here we go, this is the project for this sleepy, chilled out track that I've been working on. Now, it's not totally finished, but we are probably about 80% of the way there. I haven't done any mastering on this track, probably needs like a final mix. And I'm thinking about just doing a little bit of extra work in the bridge, the B section. Generally, it's pretty much there. I've got like a nice fleshed out arrangement. It is a fairly simple track. So yeah, let's jump into it and we'll break down how I wrote this. So as with a lot of my tracks, I started here with the piano. So what I've got loaded up here is the Imaginary Piano 2, and I wrote these chords which are really kind of slow, really kind of dreamy and sleepy, and then from there I built on the rest of the track. So we're starting there with a inversion of an F major chord. So we just got the C, the F and the C. And then I kept it really simple from there, and instead of that bottom C, I moved it down to a bottom A. So still an F major chord, F, C, A, inverted with the A at the bottom. And then we move into, I don't exactly know what this chord is, but I've got a D, a G, and then that top C. Just to give you a little bit more brightness in the chord progression. Then we go back to our F majors. And then I've got a D, G, and D. Adding that brightness, but with a slightly different inflection, a different inversion from what we had in the previous four. So this is how the piano sounds all together. It's super slow, it's got like a really nice kind of emotional timbre to it, and just generally leaving a ton of space for the rest of the track to build out. Now I was going for something sleepy in this track, so what I didn't want is anything too upbeat. I didn't want anything kind of too, I guess, happy or with too much of kind of like a joyful sound. It had those really nice elements that I was looking for in dreamy, sleepy track. So once I had that, I knew that I was working in a C major scale. So then I added in this drone sound. And that is just a C and a G. That's the 1 and the 5 of the scale that we're working in. On my drone is just an EQ, just rolling off those highs and raising up a little bit of that warmth in the low mids. I've got no effects on my piano channel. I might cut some of those lows because it does sound a little bit dusty in the low areas, but that's okay for now. Once I had my drone and my chords playing, I could then work on building up some of the melodic elements or some of the background elements that kind of build this into a fully fleshed out track. So then I worked on a second piano, and again, we're using the Imaginary piano. This time I've kept the tone bang in the middle and kept it as standard out of the box, and I just made this little arp. Super simple, just plays in the background to help build up this sort of intro section of the track. So I'll just play these three things together and you can hear what's going on. As you can see there, I automated the gain on that piano arp just so it kind of slowly builds in. I also put it there to slowly fade out before everything else comes in together, just to help with kind of maximizing the effect of the bass and the drums and everything else coming in. Because this is a sleepy beat, I really wanted to have a fair bit of movement and a little bit of atmospheric kind of background sounds happening. So let's jump into what I did for those. So what I've got here is a tremolo sound. Now this is a sound from Labs. This is the Lap Steel Fast Trems, or Trems Fast. It's this really nice kind of swelling lap steel sound, I guess. And that just adds like a ton of life and a ton of movement into the background. It gives this really nice kind of ambient, almost choral effect. And all I've got there is a Valhalla Supermassive just on the default preset. And then I've got an equalizer focusing in on just the frequencies I wanted. So I've rolled off anything below 1000 Hertz. And I've also ducked out that kind of 4000 Hertz range. Without those being cut out, it was just a little bit too much for kind of a background ambient sound. I then introduced a little bell sound. And that just plays in this downward pattern, and it plays a couple of times throughout the track. Super simple there. And we've just got this dream bell from Citrus. And then again, I've just EQ'd. This time I've EQ'd off some of those highs. And then I've put a Solaris kind of shimmer reverb on it, just to kind of give it that nice, like afterwards shimmer on the sound. So if I just focus in on all of these sounds together, let's play this section here. We've now got like a really nice foundation for the track. We've got like a little bit of movement from that tremolo, and we've got that bell, and it all kind of balances quite nicely, setting the scene for the melodic elements. And the main melodic elements I've got here are 2 guitar lines. So I wrote this first guitar line and it came out quite nicely, but after I was finished with it, I knew that I needed to write a kind of counter to it. They both kind of work as leads and bounce off each other, but I'll just play this and then I'll play the second one and you can hear what I mean. So this guitar line is a little bit lower in the frequencies. It's got like a nice warm tone to it. So we've got an EQ there rolling off the highs and the lows. And then I've got Solaris adding a little bit of shimmer, just a little bit of reverb to it to give it that nice warmth. And I then wrote this second guitar line. Initially, what I was writing here was a guitar art, playing similar to the piano part at the beginning, but it didn't come out that way. It turned into something more of a melody, and it turned into something that works really nicely with the other guitar sound. And again, I've just got an EQ, this time opening up a little bit more of that high end. And then I've got Solaris just adding a little bit of a reverb on there. Got a really nice kind of warm sound to it. I've pitched one to the left and one to the right. And then if I play them both together, hopefully you'll see what I mean. So you can hear they kind of match up at some points and they kind of play off each other at other points. And that was something that works really nicely in the context of this whole track. So let's play the whole thing. And then let's introduce those trems. So you can hear how you've got both guitars kind of playing off each other. And then you've also got a little bit of space there for the trems and those bells to kind of fill those pockets where the guitars have a little bit of a lull. And it just all works really nicely together. That's something that I try to do a lot in my tracks, and that is build layers rather than having kind of one guitar line that's overly complicated. Have two, have three, add kind of really simple layers that kind of work well together. And I find that results in you having a slightly more complex melody, but one that works and plays off itself really, really nicely, instead of having one overly complex piano or guitar melody. When I was first starting out, that was writing these overly complicated patterns. And now I just strip it back. I write one simple melody and then I write another simple melody, and kind of just figure out what sits well with each other as sort of counter melodies or two main melodies. So after I had those, I then just added in this bass line. We've just got a EQ rolling off all of the mids and the highs. And then we've got a Labs Opia sub bass. And that's just really simple, following those root notes. Kept the drums fairly simple here. This is a sleepy beat. The drums are not the focal point of the track. I just wanted to have a hi-hat, a snare, and a kick, and that is all I've got so far. So I just added in this really simple kick and snare pattern and added in a hi-hat. And then if you put all of that together, and that's essentially how I built out the main sort of section of the song. After that, I wanted to build a bridge here where the track kind of breaks down and gives you that classic kind of sleepy, chilled out vibe. I didn't want to keep it going too much. So after that, I stripped out the second guitar line, the higher up one, and played around with some of the piano sections. So I kept the trems and the bell in here, then I removed the bell, and in this second section I also removed the piano chords. But the main thing that I brought in to the bridge is this arp, and this is a weird sound that I found in the stock plugins. Every second little arp, I've ducked those velocities so they work as sort of like a delay, and that's just playing in the background of the whole bridge. And then you can see I kept on automating the gain so that that arp plays and then ducks out at the end. But generally, I kept it fairly simple. Kind of think for these sleepy beats, it's best to err on the side of simplicity. So this is how the bridge sounds at the moment. We've got here our new little arp, and then you'll hear as it kind of breaks down. And then here in this second section of the bridge, I actually created a new pattern with the trem, and that's just playing that C and that G to really kind of let the listener know this is where the track breaks down rather than following our normal pattern. By the end of the bridge, we've essentially got nothing playing. It almost goes silent. The only thing that carries over here is the drone. This final section here, I did this little kind of intro with the guitar where it just plays that first little hook, and then I built a little drum fill here that brings you back into the main element of the track, the main section. So let's take a listen. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm super happy with how this track's coming together so far. If you want to learn how to make more sleepy beats like this, or chill hop tracks, or kind of ambient dreamy tracks. That is what I do. If you like watching videos like this, hit that subscribe button. I upload every single week of the year. You will find tons and tons of other videos just like this one. Anyway, I think that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching. Peace out.